Well, good morning. So today is Monday, start of week 2 on the rehab and installation of the new system. As you can see, there has been some issues with a water leak, so maintenance has covered everything up nicely for right now. Okay, so it's Monday afternoon, and I've gotten all of the Door King rehab stuff done, and I wanted to take some time to explain to you what it is I'm doing. I've showed you all this wiring, I've showed you everything, but I haven't explained to you exactly what it is I'm doing. So the first part of my job is to clean up the existing access control system. Now, this particular property has a Door King system. I love Door King. I think it makes sense. I love the software. It's super easy to use. So, every door on property has 3 things. It has a magnet or a door strike. It has a card reader, and it has an exit request button. So that when you go to that door to get in, you take your card, you put it to the card reader. The panels here process whether or not you're allowed in through that access point via the software, and then allows you entry. Each one of these cards that I've been working on, that I showed you in my previous video, is one door. So the card reader comes in on this side, the relay, which is called a dry contact relay, because it has no outgoing power. There are 2 types of relays in my field: a dry contact and a wet contact. Wet contact would mean that there is power being produced from that contact. In this case, we're a common and normally open dry contact setup. So what happens is the card read comes in, the software decides whether or not you are allowed access, at which time it fires a dry contact relay on this side, which transfers down to here. From here, it then goes to what is called a power distribution board. And the power distribution board, on the top portion of it, has 2 wire input from the dry contact here to here, and then it has a multiple contact point at the bottom, allowing for either the normal operation of that door to be a wet contact or for it to be a dry contact. So on the bottom portion of this board, if there's a magnet there, then I would be using the wet contact off of the power distribution board in order to maintain that door to be locked. Dry contact on this side of the board would mean that I have maybe a door strike that is what is called fail secure, or normally just locked. And when I close the relay here, it will turn around and fire the dry contact, turning it into a wet contact, applying power to the door to open. For this particular property, majority of this is a wet contact output, which means that when the magnet has power going to it all the time, and when you card read in, the dry contact, or the input on this side of the board, closes the relay, separating the current. So it basically de-energizes the magnet. Now if I take this pin here and I go here, you can hear that there is a light on. That means that that door is working. If I go here, there's a light on. That means that door is now unlocked. So the cleanup portion of the job went relatively well. It was a bit hectic, and I'm doing my wire management and cleanup right now. We had a little bit of a leak. But these power distribution modules were not here prior to my cleanup. The reason for this is the company is actually wanting to have a new access control system overlay on top of the door king. So this one, this one, this one, this and this is all door king. These are my power distribution boxes, which again apply or remove power to said door. These two boxes right here are my new access system. And these particular type of power distribution modules are very important because I can control them from multiple things. So we have the door king, and then we have these two systems right here, and this is an overlay. So this particular one, I have ran wire from this control panel to my dry contact relay boxes, which are paralleled with the door king system. So it doesn't matter if the door king system, which is a card read in or an exit request via the software, it's done. The new system is cloud-based in such a way that each one of these control panels has a mini computer Raspberry Pi in it, and basically has these two boards here. And these two boards here, each one of those lights represents one of these boards. So in this case, I can handle, on this particular box, 16 doors on this one box. Now I could do wet contact on this as well, but I choose not to because I have the power distribution, and because this is an overlay on top of the door king to work together. Not really together, but backup system, new system. If this one doesn't do what they want it to do, the way they want it to do it, then they always have the door king to fall back on. Eventually the door king will probably all be removed, but in the meantime I'm taking this box and these wires, and I'm going to the same location, to the 2-wire input, and paralleling the 2-wire input from these panels to this panel. So in essence, with the new system, there'll be no more card reader. It will be all controlled via your cell phone and your proximity to the gate. So each one of these locations around the property, I'll put a small beacon near there, and when you get within 2 to 3 or 4 feet of that beacon, your phone will beep and telling you that you can go in and the gate should be open. Or you can open up the app and select the door and unlock. So no more card readers, no more card fobs, pretty much all online. So it's a test into the future. I like it. So at this point, we're going to call it a day and let's get a start fresh in the morning. Good morning. It's Tuesday. Again, 90% of my rehab and new access system is done. The entire rehab system is pretty much done except for a little bit cleanup and labeling. Today I'm going to be starting on the new access system and completing the wiring on my second panel, which shouldn't take very long. Then we have to wander around, test and apply the doors and beacons to the new system and give it a whirl. Let's check back later. Alright, so It is the end of day 2, Tuesday. As you can see, everything's cleaned up, looking relatively good. Keys for everything. Nameplates, boxes, everything's good to go. Well, it's Wednesday, and as you can see, we're in a different location of the property, doing the rehab for this particular section. As you can see here, we have our brain unit, our cellular unit, our power distribution center at the current moment. This will all be changing. Our power supplies down there are on a pretty weak terminal strip, so we'll be putting a surge protected strip in there to protect the new equipment. So the first thing is going to be removing what is not needed and designing the new setup for the new system. So let's get started on that, and we'll go from there. Okay, so at this point right now I have my wall cleaned. I have my wiring cleaned up and organized. So everything is good to go ahead and start installing, reinstalling some of the equipment and installing the new stuff. Alright, so now we have our boxes reinstalled. Next will be my power surge strip to power everything, and then we'll go ahead and start wiring it up. All right. Today's project is complete.